wicked step back three. Look her drive in, take a step back, push away. Boom. Three-pointer, beautiful, beautiful shot. She takes that step back three. It's gorgeous. Caitlin Clark already in mid-season form on the three-pointers. Right here, you're going to see her come down. Sophie Cunningham's got the ball. She's going to pass it off to Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin's going to take a wicked. How about we get a little love to Sophie Cunningham? This is going to be a pass from Caitlin Clark in as Sophie Cunningham cuts towards the basket. Right here, you're going to see her come cutting in right there with the pass. Nice little made layup.
Did you see what just happened? The Indiana Fever just went perfect in preseason, and their final victory against the Atlanta Dream wasn't even close. Caitlin Clark and Lexie Hull completely took over the game when it mattered most. Clark was draining shots from distances that shouldn't even be legal, while Hull exploded for 11 points in the fourth quarter alone.
In Atlanta, this was a preseason game. My goodness, the first thing I can come out with here is that feed into the league pass. Am I the only one? I noticed Lexie Hull had a bunch of minutes in this game. 14 points. Looks like she got 5 boards, 4 assists. So, let's start this out. Right here, Caitlin Clark coming down the court. Yeah, she's going to dribble, and then she's going to pull up for a long three. Bang. Right there. Beautiful three-pointer.
This wasn't just another preseason game. It was a warning shot to the entire WNBA about what's coming their way when the regular season starts. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
ESPN released the viewership numbers for the Indiana Fever versus the Brazilian national team game. This was the game that was held at Iowa on Sunday. So the game averaged 1.3 million viewers. It peaked at 1.6 million. The Indiana Fever break attendance and viewership records in their preseason game against the Brazilian national team. So what does this mean for the WNBA as a whole, and can they finally become, and this was up 13% over last year's regular season ESPN average for WNBA games. So of all WNBA games last year, this was up 13%, the viewership.
Did you catch what just happened with the Indiana Fever? They didn't just win their preseason games. They dominated in a way nobody expected. They came into preseason with huge expectations because of Caitlin Clark, but nobody thought they'd go completely undefeated against such tough competition. There was a major scare before the Atlanta game. Caitlin Clark appeared to hurt herself during warm-ups, limping and needing attention from trainers. She had collided with a teammate during practice, making an old leg strain worse. Fans were worried she might not play at all, but Clark didn't let that stop her. She still managed to play 23 minutes despite the injury concern, putting up 13 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds in limited time. That's what makes her different from other rookies. She doesn't need to be 100% to completely change a game. The team's chemistry was on full display throughout the game. There was this moment in the second quarter when Clark got frustrated after not getting a foul call that led to a Dream fast break. She threw the ball at the stanchion and got a technical foul. That's when Sophie Cunningham immediately stepped in, pulling Clark away before things got worse.
Because I'm not going to lie to you, it's not just you-know-who that's got an issue with made layups. There is like a pandemic in this league. I kid you not. With some of these players and their made layups. How about a little DeWanna Bonner action? You know, not that I'm trying to throw shade, but again, a made layup, which is, frankly, let's just keep going. There, frankly, it's good to see in this league. Caitlin Clark to DeWanna Bonner for a bomb from downtown. Look at this. That's the tall gal. That's the tall gal hitting that. I mean, seriously.
Cunningham wasn't going to let her rookie star talk herself into more trouble with the refs. What makes this win even more impressive is beating a dream team with Brittney Griner. The Fever proved they can compete with established stars. How did the Indiana Fever manage to go undefeated in preseason? By blending Clark's star power with contributions from role players and showing remarkable team chemistry for such a new group. That technical foul moment actually revealed something important. This team has each other's backs. Their perfect 3-0 record included wins against the Mystics, Brazilian national team, and the Dream. This wasn't just one lucky game, but a consistent level of performance. They're proving all the doubters wrong who said they couldn't compete right away. Coach Stephanie White has been especially impressed with how players are embracing their roles. After the Atlanta game, she specifically praised players for not allowing their roles to put them in a box. The team is growing in trust and creativity with each game, but as impressive as their perfect record was, it was the final game against Atlanta that really showed what this team might become. You know what's crazy? Everyone expected Caitlin Clark to be the star, but nobody saw Lexie Hull coming as the secret weapon that would help seal this perfect preseason. The Atlanta Dream game started with all eyes on Clark after her injury scare, but as minutes ticked by, it became clear this wasn't just going to be a one-woman show. The game was still tight heading into the fourth quarter. Atlanta's defense was swarming Clark every time she touched the ball. Double teams, traps, physical defense. They threw everything at her. That's when something unexpected happened. Lexie Hull absolutely exploded in the fourth quarter. She scored 11 of her 14 points in the final period alone. There was this moment when she split two defenders for a layup that had the whole bench going crazy. Her defensive energy was just as important. She was everywhere, getting deflections, forcing turnovers, making the Dream uncomfortable. What makes Hull's performance even more impressive is how efficient she was. She wasn't just scoring points, she was hitting shots exactly when the Fever needed them most. When Atlanta cut the lead to 4 points, Hull stepped up with back-to-back buckets that pushed the lead back to comfortable territory. Why was Lexie Hull the unexpected hero? She stepped up exactly when defenses collapsed on Clark. The Fever now have multiple weapons that can punish teams for over-focusing on their star rookie. After the game, Hull even explained where her confidence came from. Confidence comes from getting the reps, the game-like reps over and over again in practice. Coach Stephanie White specifically highlighted Hull's growth, pointing to her embracing her role and expanding her game. Hull's experience winning a championship in the unrivaled 3-on-3 league had sharpened her defensive skills and one-on-one play. That experience translated perfectly to this game. Caitlin Clark still performed great despite her injury concern. She showed her elite court vision with those 7 assists, proving she doesn't need to score 30 points to completely change a game. Her ability to find open teammates when defenses focus on her is what makes her so dangerous. The Clark to Hull connection showed flashes of becoming a dangerous offensive combination. There were at least 3 plays where Clark found Hull for wide open shots after drawing multiple defenders to herself. This partnership could give teams fits when the regular season starts. But the perfect preseason is just the beginning. Now comes the real challenge with their regular season opener against the Chicago Sky on May 17th. The Fever's perfect preseason tells us way more than just the wins. It's about how they're winning. Clark brings the star power, but players like Hull stepping up, that's what makes them dangerous right now, not years from now. May 17th is when it gets real. The Chicago Sky are coming to Gainbridge Fieldhouse with ABC broadcasting nationwide. Everyone wants to see if the Clark-Hull connection keeps working when defenses get serious. This perfect preseason feels like just the beginning. The Fever might be writing a much bigger story than anyone thought possible just a few months ago.